Okay, so all right. So I think it's the time that we can move on. Thank you, Vanita, Latana Papon, Sasha, um, and everyone else in the room here. And
Hi.
okay, I think we can start. And this webinar will be recording, and also we will put it online as well, so people can watch it later. We share with our volunteers, teachers, and students as well. Okay, everybody, welcome to our open house. This special event as open house. Last year we ran an open house for about 20 weeks, and we at open house we invite guest speaker from different field and background and expert from around the world talking about different various topic. And today we're glad that Dasha will talk about the um, teaching and how we can make English teaching English fun and in the fun way, so that we look forward to hear more from our guest speaker today. And me, myself, I'm Kavishad. I'm co-founder of OpenmindProjects. I will be the moderators and host today. And along with my colleague Sven Morion. Sven?
Yes, I am Sven. So that Emolion. I'm the other co-founder, but from Sweden originally, but mainly having worked abroad for most. Okay, I think it's time for Dasha to tell us.
Right, okay. Dasha, over to you.
Okay, well, guys, I'm sure I need to introduce myself, or the information on the screen will be enough.
Yes, please, just a little about yourself.
Okay, I'm an English teacher, ESL teacher actually, and sometimes I teach English as a foreign language, of course, as well. And for now, I'm based in Finland, and I also teach my first language as a foreign one to foreign students. Last year, I graduated from Cambridge CELTA, and now I am having an internship, a TEFL internship. TEFL is another teaching certificate. I am getting it online via a language school in Valencia. And this spring, I was happy to be accepted as a volunteer here, like at OpenmindProjects. And we are now working on I guess, very interesting project with Stoyan. Well, let it be a secret for now, but I hope it will be really useful for Thai students, and I'm really excited about that as well. And I'm honored to be here with you guys today. I will just share some of the ideas and approaches that I use in my own classrooms, so hopefully they will be useful for you as well.
Okay, thank you.
So, shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will share my screen. So, guys, we are going to have like 4 major parts of our webinar today. And, well, once I prepared all of them, I asked Sven and Toto to advise me on what to choose, what to speak on first. And they told me that gamification would be maybe the most interesting part for you. So I chose this to be the first one. And I'm sure that as all of you are English teachers, probably as me, or somehow connected with English teaching, you surely already know about gamification, and maybe use it as well. So for now, just let me clarify what to me gamification is about. So I will actually speak about 2 major points here. Using of gamification with video games in video games based lessons and using it in the traditional classroom. Because gamification is a really flexible approach, and you can modify it depending on the circumstances that you are teaching in, your teaching environment, and it can be, you can employ some elements of it to brighten up your teaching and your students' learning. So we will start with this green sticker. So I will speak about how to employ gamification using video games based lessons. And let me show you my next slide. Hopefully, guys, you also like maybe play this game or know about this game. This is Minecraft. To be honest, I'm not a computer geek at all, and I wouldn't say I play Minecraft myself, but I'm a teacher geek, and I'm interested in whatever students are interested in. So recently I have been teaching lots of kids, and they are crazy about Minecraft. So I decided to choose this one to demonstrate some of the ideas, some of the maybe approaches to you that you can use with other video games. So here on the stickers are some like basic points I would like to focus on here. We can use Minecraft and other similar games to recreate students' favorite books, movies, or whatever they are obsessed with. Because Minecraft lets us recreate anything. The creative mode is actually about building anything that you like. I guess that you already know this, of course. So also, as we are creating things, we study sets of vocabulary and sets of grammar as well, but mostly we build things, we move things, move some objects, so we can like employ Minecraft to study whole sets, whole vocabulary families, whatever you need to study with your kids or teens, or maybe recycle and revise. Then, of course, and here I think that that is one of the most important points, you can use Minecraft to think of real life settings and recreating real life situations. As Sven and Toto told me when I met them first, in Thailand, students are extremely interested in, for example, joining tourism industry. And here again, to like facilitate their learning, the learning of English they will need in this industry, you can use video games to recreate these real life situations. And here on the green sticker is one more point I would like to focus on, the magical one. So it probably works for kids and teens, and I will elaborate on that a little bit later. I will share with you some like projects that can help you to go magical, actually. Just now, for 1 second, I will switch to the next slide, hopefully. Sorry. Okay, so here is our first idea. It concerns teaching a set of vocabulary. And as you can see, like judge from this picture, here is the idea of how you can combine making some crafts and going using Minecraft at the same time. So this project mainly will work for, I would say, kids or early teens. And here you can use some clay or plasticine to make some characters with them and then recreate these characters using Minecraft. So it will be a kind of a small scale project, I would say. And the vocabulary family to study here would be, of course, appearance and personality. But, and I will repeat it a lot more times, always ask them to present. So if you go for such a project, do not just make these plasticine characters and then like recreate them in Minecraft, but always ask them to present what they have created, maybe to invent some story with these characters, because they will not use English in the process, because, well, obviously English is not their first language, so they will speak whatever their first language is. And the only way for us to motivate them to use English is just to let them present what they have created. For example, that is my character. He lives somewhere in Africa. He has got this build, this height. He has got this color of his hair, and so on. So that is one of the ideas here. And of course, we can recreate, again, like covering this topic of appearance and personality, we can recreate our favorite characters and situations. Of course, I have Totoro here because I am obsessed with Totoro. I would say that here, again, you can ask students to recreate whatever character they like. And, for example, ask them to describe the teachers. For example, Totoro is probably not so sociable, but very kind and helpful, and he's a good friend. So, like, always try to make them say something in English, use English somehow. And here is actually the fairy project, the magical project I was talking about when we were at my first slide. Using architecture projects in Minecraft may help us study this kind of vocabulary sets. Materials, of course, because Minecraft is all about materials. When you build something, you need to choose all these types of wood and stone, and well, it may be even used to maybe study English for the architecture industry. So, like, if you have some students who study English for specific purposes, and also like the inner design of the house and describing some objects and everyday routines, of course, may be studied through this project. And speaking of grammar here, we can study verb forms, of course, because when you ask them to describe what they have created, well, they need to go step by step and tell you, well, first I built this, then I built that. Anyway, you revise verb forms. And also, I think that this is a great project to study comparatives, actually. Because if you like go for architecture, you always need to compare things. Like, this house is maybe more comfortable than that, and this is bigger than this one. So always like a room to study comparative adjectives. And I also have a link here, just very briefly, to show you what it contains. I will share all of my presentations then, guys, with Toto, and I guess that he will share them with you. So you will have all these links, actually, to study then. 1 second, I will share my screen once again. Here it is. That is the presentation of the fairy project that someone created using Minecraft. And here it is a whole code, actually, that contains buildings and geographical features. And of course, you can, well, ask students to create and then to describe and to compare things, whatever. So we go further. And now, guys, on this slide, I will probably ask you to participate. So please stay focused, be with me. That is another idea of how to study some vocabulary and grammar sets using Minecraft. And I'm not talking here about some disastrous scenarios. Just let them explore the outer space and imagine what may be the life on another planet. So here is the project of founding a colony on another planet with the help of Minecraft. And I would say that this will be a large-scale collaborative project that they will need to collaborate creating because, well, it definitely involves some team building and, well, maybe managing a lot of things. Anyway, team building is a great way to add fun to your study. So, guys, let me ask you. Hi, Anfasa. Somebody has joined us. So, guys, let's think together. If we build a spacecraft, if we ask students to build a spacecraft and to fill it with everything that will be needed for a long journey, what do you think will be the vocabulary here that we may study using this project? Akiko, maybe you help us here. What do you think will be the vocabulary that we may study in this case?
I have no idea. Chris.
Or anybody?
Anybody?
Anna, maybe you? Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
Something for
guys.
living.
I see your answers in the chat. Thank you.
Water?
1 second. I'll check it. Actually, yeah, a lot of everyday things. And just 1 second, let me check the chat. Exactly. So thank you, Sasha.
Oxygen.
Essentials. Yeah, solar battery. Thank you, Stoyan.
I can read out the.
So they will definitely study vocabulary sets as everyday things and things that are needed for living in the outer space. And science and technology, definitely. Energy, thank you. And guys, now try to think about grammar. What kind of grammar we can study by using this project? This first step. When we build a spacecraft and we fill it with different things that we will need in this journey, what will be the grammar that we may study? For example, verbs, of course,
yeah.
action verbs. Jargon. Okay. It may be actually nice idea here because, well, yeah, they will need to communicate a lot and they will need this specific slang to describe some, yeah, adjectives. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, they will need to describe things and technical terms. Thank you, Ina James. Thank you, Nantana. Thanks, Sven. Future tense, of course, Chris. Guys, plenty of ideas here. Actually, I have less ideas on my slide, to be honest. So let me share my ideas with you, but actually yours are even better here. I have materials and action verbs for vocabulary and prepositions and directions for grammar. Like, because you will need to describe what is inside this ship. Like, if you look to the right, there is a kitchen. To the left, there is a bedroom, and something is on, something is under. So lots of prepositions may be revised, recycled here, and of course modules. Like, we will need and we should take something. We must take something with us. We need to think about that kind of these kind of topics. So, and now, as an extension of this project, we can build a world on the planet like that we want to visit and describe its features. And here we will talk about geographical features for vocabulary. Of course, you will need to somehow like design this planet because there should be forests, maybe rivers, mountains. So all the geographical features that our planet has, maybe transferred there. And speaking of grammar, again, my idea was about prepositions, but I'm sure that you guys are very cool and in finding what we can study like using this project. So prepositions is just one idea. Great, thank you for your help here, guys. The next project that I think may be useful, well, if we speak of Minecraft, is building a theater or cinema and recreating their favorite story in it. So here you do not only talk about the environment, about some building, again, discussing materials and the settings and, well, like just the facility itself, but they can also create some movie on the screen or some theater drama on the stage. So here again, you can employ this project to study, to learn some English connected to the movie or maybe some scenario that they for now like. Just always make sure to check what they are obsessed with right now. And probably the last project here, and again, guys, I will ask you to like come up with some ideas for us. It is building a hotel. I would say that that is another idea of a large-scale project that will like involve collaboration and team building, of course, because you can set this as a task. Let's start our own business, guys. Let's imagine that we are to build a hotel, to employ personnel, and to, well, think about everything concerning this small or maybe large business project. So let's think about this together. Again, guys, what grammar and vocabulary they can learn or recycle using this project here on the blue sticker is our next point to think about. Again, you can use the chat or you can just talk to me. Let's think about grammar and vocabulary that we may use here, that we may study using this project. Yeah, Sasha, thank you for your ideas. So you can see, guys, of course, rooms, floors, the design of everything. Speaking of like vocabulary and maybe set phrases, because reception, I would say, refers to some set phrases. The phrases that they actually can use further on in life if they are employed at a hotel, for example. Yep, great ideas here. And also, guys, you can think about actually my second sticker right now as well. What kind of skills they will practice by performing this project. Skills are reading, writing, listening, and speaking. What kind of skills they will be practicing if we use this project? Of course, writing, because they will need to describe, and listening, yeah, because they will need to Google things, to check something on the internet, and to maybe watch some videos, and yep, definitely they will practice listening a lot. Basically, yeah, Atisha, Ati, thank you. Maybe, well, writing will be like practiced least of all, but it will be practiced anyway. But actually, I would say that the major skill here to be practiced is speaking, because they will need to collaborate, they will need to discuss things, and they will need to present you what they have created. So again, in this project, in projects like this, always ask them to present. And if they are higher than intermediate, try to somehow motivate them to use English when discussing. do not set lots of expectations on them in this case, but I think that intermediate students and higher already realize how cool is using English throughout the projects, like throughout they are thinking about something. Well, guys, thank you so much for again participating here. Now let's switch to the next slide. Actually, the last slide in this part of the presentation. Here are some ideas of how you can employ gamification in the real classroom. As I have already told you, gamification is not only about playing games. It's not only about using video games. It's about like including gamifying some elements of your teaching. And here on the right, there are like these three arrows. There are some ideas of how to use it in the real classroom or online classroom, whatever. And I will elaborate on some of them further on in our webinar. For now, they are board games, of course. I have an example of Imaginarium here because it is very popular in Europe and in my home country. It's mostly about some magical worlds. So maybe it suits teens and young adults. And for kids, I would say it would be too difficult. It is for intermediate level and higher. Because Imaginarium is about describing. And again, you can think about what kind of grammar and vocabulary you can study by using that game. For example, if you study appearance and personality, if you study environments, physical environments, use Imaginarium or games like that, because they will need to, well, describe what they have on their cards for others to guess. So characters, environment, things around us, something like that. And of course, this refers to all of the board games that you can have access to. So feel free to experiment here. Any game, any board game played in English is about studying English. Just always think about what grammar and vocabulary you may teach by using it. Then, of course, quizzes and challenges. Here, well, in my further presentations, I will show you, I will share some resources for creating web quizzes with you. But in the real classroom, quizzes are a perfect way to gamify your teaching as well, because all you need is sticky papers and a pen and your imagination. So you can use different twisters and, well, like mind blowers here to maybe ask your students to find something in the classroom or outside. Well, it depends on your creativity and your mood, actually. Do not hesitate to contact me if you need some materials, because I have loads of them. I will share my email and Instagram account a little bit later. And role plays and roundtables are also about gamifying your teaching, actually, because students need to, well, become somebody else to participate in the role play or in a roundtable. And usually young adults, especially like young adults that have strong views on some maybe world issues, will be really motivated to participate in these ones. So I will share some particular ideas with you a little bit later in the different in the next part of our webinar. And on the left, there are some illustrated well, approaches on how to gamify your teaching. I encourage you guys to check this book because of Mr. Terapt. You can, again, I can share with you digital version. I have it in digital version in my smartphone and on my laptop. It is actually a book for teens and young adults, but it is really heartwarming. And it is about a teacher who employs really creative approaches to find a common ground with his new class. And he's really inspiring. You know, last year I was teaching first grade students, first grade pupils, and this was a torturous experience, to tell the truth. And actually, Mr. Terapt and his ideas were what helped me out. So just do not hesitate to contact me if you want to read this one or find it online yourself. Then, of course, for kids and teens, using avatars in the real environment or in online classroom may actually work because, again, it motivates them to study probably sets of vocabulary, maybe to play, actually to play a game in real life. So you choose the characters that refer to their favorite movie or cartoon right now. And for example, if they are into Harry Potter, you can let them divide into Hogwarts houses and let them be avatars like Harry or Hermione or Neville, whoever they like again. And speaking of kids and teens, you can also use gamified feedback. And here it is more about your teaching than their learning, because you can give them points and badges for different achievements. Just try to be more objective than Dumbledore. Here, I just like memes about Dumbledore. About him giving points to Gryffindor for everything. So just you can use points, but try to be objective here. And of course, it depends on the competitive culture of the class that you are teaching, of the group, because I would avoid competition in my culture. But maybe, it is different for every class. So always just make sure that they do not get upset easily, and it really motivates them, not discourage them. So that's more or less it with this part, guys. Just 1 second, I will sip. I will have a sip of water, and we will switch to the next part of our presentation. These are tourism-focused classes because, I choose tourism because, again, Toto and Sven told me that it is a huge industry, of course, in Thailand, and vocabulary and grammar that may be somehow connected with this sphere are definitely useful and, essential for Thai students and for Lao students as well, I guess. So it's a huge job market, as far as I can see. So let's go for it. Let's start. Let's proceed to tourism. Again, guys, I will share some ideas with you of how that are connected with tourism, and you feel free to modify them in whatever way you like. I will start with this Create Your Own Island project. Actually, that was the first large-scale project that I performed with my group of, I would say, early teens. They were like 10 to 12 years old, and this was my first class to teach. I was an intern teacher there, and what I asked them to do was to create their worlds by studying sets of vocabulary. I will share my screen once again to make sure it switches to another window. So with this project, we started actually, sorry, not the window I wanted to share. Once again, here it is. We went step by step. And for example, during our first lesson, I shared some magical worlds with them. They guessed about what we are going to create. Then we studied some vocabulary referring to geographical features. referring to well, geography as a whole, and then I asked them to draw their island. So that was the first lesson. Then, for example, like they drew their islands, they included some geographical features like rivers and mountains and hills. Yeah, and then they described it to me, of course, then shared their ideas with everybody. Then, for example, I always had a kind of a plan for them to present what they have created. So, for example, if they create these islands, then they like describe using this plan. Then, at the next lesson, for example, we looked at popular festivals, at national festivals around the world, and I asked them to think about what national festivals on their islands would be. But one thing to take into consideration here is that this class was really creative, and it is like a common thing that students are not that creative and they do not want to imagine things. That's completely okay. So in this case, to make it again like a tourism related project, you can ask them to explore real countries and like use this well, design this project in the format of web quests. I will share again some resources to create web quests a little bit later. Yeah, hi Pasa. Yeah, she is late because she had some internet problem. It's okay. I will share all the materials later on. Don't worry, please. So just join us for now. And okay, by the way, here on the slide, there are some islands that my students actually created. Cat's Island, and I guess this was Pirates Island. But yeah, this class was really good at imagining things. With real students, with like, okay, less creative students, we can ask them to explore real countries. Then to add some competition here, we can divide them into groups and well, probably ask each group to choose a country to explore, then to give them a plan. And then of course you can give them points for performing each stage. Again, to make it more competitive, probably to motivate them. It depends on actually the well, studying culture, learning culture of this group. Maybe they do not need so much of your guidance here, and you just like set them free to browse and explore, and then to present what they have found in some structured way. So that is one of the ideas related to tourism here. Then, guys, another idea refers to realia, and realia is everything that you can find around. I myself am a scrapbooking person, so I always have lots of this stuff at home. So when actually being at my CELTA course, I needed to write a huge report on how to drill reading skills. I chose this brochure, this leaflet that I collected somewhere in Helsinki. It refers to the cruises, summer cruises from Helsinki to the nearby city of Porvoo. And here are some ideas of how you can like employ these brochures to help you study reading. Brochures are a great way to read because they are colorful, they contain short parts of text, and they are real life things. They contain a lot of like real life well, just things for them to study. So when we set the reading tasks, we actually think about two types of reading always. Scan or skim reading, that is like general reading for general information, quick reading. And here use this well, parts of the brochures like prices, timetables, maybe names of the dishes in the menus, in the restaurant menus, whatever is short and motivates them to pick some particular like pieces of information. and then reading for detail, of course. And here you employ this parts of text when they where they are where you ask them to dig deeper and find out what some probably like tours, or what is special about some tours or restaurants or whatever. So actually, these are reading tasks referring to brochures. Some ideas. Well, do not be afraid of the need to think about questions here, because actually these questions proceed from the text that you have, and it's really fast to create this, to think about these questions and create such a reading task. Well, speaking of role plays, here is an example of a role play that you can use in a lesson referring to some brochure and some, well, tourism situations. Well, I thought of this situation in a travel agency here because there were two packages suggested, like offered to tourists in this brochure. The one contained like 2 trips. The return included the return trip and some food on board of the ferry, and another one just suggested that they go one way by bike and return by ferry. And I decided to ask students to be a travel agent and a tourist himself. And for example, a travel agent in this case would try to persuade the tourist to buy some more expensive package, and the tourist who sticks to healthy lifestyle and does not want this food on board would try to ask the agent to sell him a less expensive package. So again, role play is a kind of a way to gamify your real environment, real classroom environment, because here you ask students to be someone else, to maybe imagine them in real life situations. Well, that's more or less it with tourism, and let me check it with Toto. Toto, do we have time? Do we still have time?
Yeah, we have some time for Q&A. Or you are sleeping?
I was talking on my own for so long. And maybe,
yeah, it's very, very interesting, and yeah, it's very good and informative. Everyone, thumb up.
Okay, some
have to go in a minute. Yeah.
Toto, Dasha, you have provided lots of ideas. So I do think, Toto, you should arrange for another session. But already now, Toto and Dasha, I think, this is very much in line with our thinking open mind, because we want people to learn, not to teach them. And this is really about learning, and learning by doing. And you even touched upon role plays, which we actually do. So, Toto and Dasha, I think we should think about and ask Toto, who would like to start developing one sort of project, gamification, that we could test. Because now there are lots of ideas and ways to do this. So I think learning by doing, it would be very nice if we could find some people who would like, together with you, Dasha, to design one activity, one lesson if you want, or several lessons.
Yep, we can, for example, arrange another meeting. Yeah, guys, if you wish to, that will be great. And I am almost free now, so I will be here for you.
Okay.
Yeah, because then I think it would be excellent if Toto, with everybody listening here, can indicate your interest if you would like to have another session and then start discussing what we could do as a first activity for students in the class or on online. I think in the class would be very nice if we could find something there. You have mentioned many ideas already, Dasha.
Yeah,
And Toto, I think also then, Toto, we have a few volunteers now coming in July, August, September. Maybe we should share, they're coming to Thailand. So maybe we should also see if some of them would be interested in, together with Dasha, designing something to test in a class.
Yes, and I think also online we do have some volunteers planning
Yep.
online as well. So we can arrange another a meet and talk. Yeah, like today, several of the our volunteers and some teacher couldn't make it. So we can arrange another time so that they can catch up as well.
Yeah, and Dasha, then I think definitely do that, Toto. And Dasha, think about it, and you can discuss it with Toto or with somebody else too. Gom, for instance, in Sweden, who knows as well. What you would like to think about testing in the class and also online, since we do have interested online volunteers. So maybe then you could have a group, Dasha, and you could help people to work on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because we are like development organization and learners ourselves too. But this is very much in line with how we want the kids to learn, be motivated to learn.
Well, it's so nice to hear because, guys, to be honest, I was so worried about, well, whether it would be useful for you, whether it is useful for you, because, well, I have never given such a talk before and prepared such a, like, material before.
But yes, I think we need to then, I think I'm very much action oriented. So I think with now a number of people here, we can also see who are interested in going on to then designing something that we could use in class, a first one, and at the same time something we could do online. Because now some schools and students who worked with us online last year and this year are waiting for us to come up with a new project too.
Actually, we are waiting. We are designing a new project with Stoyan now, and we are waiting for students to get ready for participating.
Yeah. So you said that is a secret, so I'm not sure, but it's a little bit leading to coding programming. So that is a little bit, but English initially. So, but I would really like if we could test something in the class. Some of the ideas, there are so many you mentioned here, and then also online, since we are in the future going for both directions, online and in the class.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is my word to you, Toto, to think about and spread the word. And let us listen to our participants here. What do they have to say? And
Anyone?
Sasha.
Anybody? Any question or any feedback to for us and for both our speaker?
It's almost like
Thai
when
student.
you lecture, yes, a Thai class, students at Thammasat University in the beginning. They were a little bit quiet.
Thank you, Sasha. I'm sharing, guys, with you my well, like the name of my account in the Instagram. If you need a book about Mr. Terapt, or you need any materials, maybe books on teaching, I am always happy to share. So please contact me, and I am here for you.
And I'm coming back to Toto and Dasha. Very keen to set up a little team of people who would like to develop something in class and something for online. Huh?
Yeah,
would,
of course.
because this, I think that would be the best way, learning by doing and testing it.
Yeah, we definitely do, and we will reach out to you again by emails and invite you to them. Um, People who would like to join the developing this.
Yeah, and Dasha, I have a task for you then. Can you draft a little introduction that we are together forming wanting to have a team to develop gamification in class, one version of it and one online, with you
Yeah.
as the project leader. And then Toto will spread this to the people who are listening now and to a number of other people too, for sure.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm sorry, I'm just going to react.
Yeah.
Some message in the chat. Sorry, sorry for being interrupted. Yeah, I will definitely make this draft. Actually, Stoyan taught me how to use Atlassian platforms, where we now have a kind of a collaborative documents and we can share the ideas with each other. So I will create there some docs devoted to these ideas, to gamification in online and real classrooms. And I will share them with you guys as soon as I'm ready. You will see them.
Invite. So, like, I would like you to write an invitation to some people who, if they would be interested in participating in this, and then to form a team to develop this together.
So let this be, well, a kind of a draft plan and the invitation.
And the idea is to design something for in class and design something for online to first to test and learn from it.
Yep.
So the team members learn, and then we test it, and we learn when we test it.
Yeah, I think that would be great to have such a team. Well,
yeah,
definitely. All right, thank you, our guest speakers, Dasha and participants. So let's call it a day, and see you next time.
One thing, could we already ask here our participants who would be interested in participating in developing something for OpenmindProjects? You can show it by a thumbs up, like this.
thank you, guys.
Okay, so Toto, you'll
lock up if you don't thumb up. You're locked up in the room.
But then it's just an indication of interest, which is very nice. And then Toto and Dasha, you will agree on the next session and then invite everybody here. You will write an invitation letter to a project team, and then soon we will have a team and started designing, developing something. But before then, we'll have another session with you, Dasha. Then, Toto, you organize that with Dasha, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I actually have 2 more parts here. If you are interested in discussing more ideas, there are some on healthy lifestyle and healthy eating and environment protection, which are also, as Sven and Toto told me, important to Thai students. So feel free to, well, set this next session if you want to.
Okay. So you organize next session, and you can decide then if you want to focus on some topics or themes that we are particularly interested in, Toto. Discuss that with Dasha.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, everybody, thank you, and so have a good weekend.
Thank you, guys.
See you
Long
next
weekend.
session.
Happy weekend. Glad helg. Glad midsommar. Happy midsummer, they say in Sweden. They celebrate it now.
Right, it's
All of our
midsummer.
happy.
I see. Yeah, yeah.
Happy midsummer, Sven, Toto, and everyone.
Today.
And mind you, everybody, it's hotter in Sweden, the west coast, than it is in Thailand today. That is quite unusual. But today is one day like that. Okay, everybody. Nice to have you all here. I look forward to next session with you, Dasha and Toto. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Have a great day.